I miss DVDs. And no, I don't just mean DVDs as in they don't exist anymore, because technically they're still around. In fact, statistically, a lot of physical media sales are still DVDs. Cheap, scratched harder than a DJ on a Saturday night, and packed with absolutely nothing. Wow, when I say it like that, it makes me sound really evil. And you'd be right. What I'm getting at is there was a time when there was actual effort put into DVDs. Now we get a sad state of static image on the screen with play, scenes, maybe setup if you're lucky, but no actual extras anymore. They package those in with the Blu-rays, so if that's your thing, pay the extra and get the extras. Extra, extra! Nude boy Jay's off his meds again! Ooh, would you look at the time? It's time to... One medication taking, yeah. And that, dear viewers, is why Freddy Got Fingered is one of the most misunderstood comedies ever made and deserves to be re-evaluated. Okay, now that video essay is done, back to the main plot of this video. So we're going to start out with a little story time.
Story time with Nerdy Boy J.
Back in the 90s, I was dumb, young, but mostly autistic, at a time when the internet was just asking for bill payers' permission. There was a shop called MVC, or Music and Video Club. The store no longer exists, and this is possibly the reason why.
One of the best action movies ever made is The Mummy Returns.
Why, what happens in it?
Wow, Stretch Armstrong would even say that's a reach. And the Joker, that's a reach around. Anyway, I must have been 7 or 8. VHS was still king, and tapes were finally becoming affordable. We'd gone from they cost as much as a kidney to, hey, now I can afford to watch Batman and Robin without organ trafficking. My mum, a big music fan, was checking out the Elvis section, or maybe the latest album by Al Jolson. Meanwhile, I was in the Disney section, ogling Teletubby tapes. Then I wandered into the anime section, and that changed everything. There it was, Akira and Ghost in the Shell. Covers that screamed, "Hey kid, animation isn't just for children." Two films that would end up becoming foundational to my love of cinema. Then I moved over to the TV section, and that's where I saw South Park. I'll never forget when it first hit UK airwaves, airing on Channel 4 on a Friday night with custom idents and promos. I remember the living room, dim lighting, fire on, mum in a chair, me with a hot chocolate, Matt and Trey showing up on screen talking about the episode. My mum hated it, so of course I loved it. Now back to the story. I saw South Park on VHS, which made sense, but then on another shelf I saw something different, something magical. South Park, again, but this time with 3 little letters on the side that would change home media forever. DVD. Now here's the fun side of it all. People now will think of a DVD to be presented in a nice plastic case. Or amateur to media snobs like myself. But I'm not a snob. I'm far much more worse than that. But in the early days of DVD, they would come packaged like this. This is the Super Jewel case. My first introduction to DVD was in the jewel case format, and also my tiny mind being blown as they were releasing South Park on a single disc, saving up to 80% more space than a VHS. Oh, it was cosmic. Also, the British home stores was only able to put 2 episodes on a tape. Sucks, my Hero Turtles VHS held 3 hours of Hero Turtles action. So here is a nice comparison of the two. I could have got Double Team on normal DVD, but I couldn't be bothered, so here's Rugrats instead. Looking at the spines, we have nicer lettering, often using the font type or graphic design as on the front cover to give that epic aesthetic and continuation. Sadly, the same can't be said about Double Team, which is just normal text. Probably couldn't shrink the normal graphic on the side, or couldn't see much. Anyway, it's a tad longer widthways, so wouldn't look amazing if you're like me and need them to be the same length on the shelf, unless you have loads of these things, but not many titles out there have the proper jewel case. Okay, let's pause for a moment. Here's the real reason I'm making this video. Originally, I just wanted to rant about DVD menus. I know, something that we've seen quite a few times, but it's grown into something more than that. it's something more personal as well. I want to document the Super Jewel case because they're rare, weird, and no one talks about them anymore. I want someone to stumble across this video in the year 3000 and say, oh, that's what early DVD technology looked like. To that one person watching thousands of years from now, I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're having an amazing day. The truth is, I'm a nerd, not just for pop culture, but for the evolution of tech, for how far we've come and where we're going to next. Okay, enough heartfelt stuff, let's get back to the main feature. Like Double Team, Columbia TreeStar had a number of these as jewel cases, such as the '98 Godzilla film, Fire, Sue Me,
I'm gonna sue you!
Replacement Killers with my boy Chow Yun Fat, Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, and many more. Now, I picked up these South Park DVDs on eBay, not because I want to show them off, but because I wanted to experience the show the way people first did on DVD. Inside volume number 1, there is this old insert listing the disc features. And on the back, it's got a few care tips and setup advice clearly aimed at first-time DVD users. There's even a little coming soon section, mostly concert and music DVDs, which really shows how early we were in the DVD era. Little details like these are what I love about collecting physical media. It's like finding those old mailing cards in the Hong Kong Legends DVD releases that I've spoken so much about. Ephemera most people would throw away is a relic of a forgotten era, and to me, it's something worth treasuring. For how slick these Super Jewel cases looked, clean lines, rounded edges, that crystal clear plastic, they never caught on, like, at all. And that got me wondering, why? These things were objectively cooler than your standard DVD case. They felt premium, they saved shelf space. So what happened? Well, it turns out that there's 5 main reasons why Super Jewel cases were pretty much doomed from the start. Compared to the standard DVD case, aka the Amaray, Super Jewel cases cost more to manufacture. More plastic, more moving parts, and ironically, more fragile when shipping in bulk. Studios didn't want to spend extra on manufacturing packaging for what was already a cheap mass market format. So unless you were buying special release or import, good luck finding these. 2. They didn't fit retail shelves properly. This one sounds small, but it's a big deal in the world of physical media. Jewel cases were just a bit shorter than the standard DVD case, like I said previously, which made store displays look uneven, and retailers hate uneven displays. HMV, Woolworths, Blockbuster, they all standardized around Amaray cases for uniformity. Super Jewel cases didn't make the cut. They still broke too easily. Now, to be fair, they were an improvement over classic CD jewel cases, but they still cracked, scuffed, and snipped in shipping. Sadness, I know. Drop a Super Jewel case, say goodbye to the front cover. And I'm looking like the nostalgia critic. Spine and insert limitations. Studios love spine real estate.
It's free real estate.
It's how they brand, label, and alphabetize. But the transparent spines on jewel cases didn't work well with it. Plus, the insert paper was a weird shape and size. Basically, less branding, more hassle. They missed the timing window. Now, most studios had already gone all in on Amaray production by the early 2000s. And when Blu-ray came along, everyone jumped ship again. Now, the packaging game moved to slipcovers, steelbooks, and digipacks. The Super Jewel case never even had a chance. So yeah, if it was sleek, if it was shiny, it looked from the future. But in the end, the Super Jewel case became a footnote in home video history. A forgotten format, a nerdy relic, a reminder that even cool ideas sometimes don't survive the shelf wars. which is exactly why I'm making this video, to remember the weird stuff. So you don't have to. And speaking of weird stuff, just when you thought things couldn't get more cursed in the early days of DVD, let me introduce you to the flipper disc.
Flipper, flipper, faster than lightning.
Yes, that's right, some early DVDs were single layered, on each side. A standard single layer DVD can hold around 4.7 gigabytes of data. Dual layered discs, around 8.5 gigabytes. So if you wanted to watch the whole movie, you had to flip the disc over halfway through. Like a vinyl record or a laserdisc, but much worse. Back then, some studios were still figuring out the tech. Dual-layered discs did exist, but they were expensive to produce, and older DVD players didn't always play nice with them. So the solution? A disc you had to manually flip. Let's go over a few charming quirks of these cursed relics. No disc art. Just blank, shiny silver. So reflective you can admire your own confused face. The tiniest black text imaginable. Margaret, fetch my monocle. More fingerprints than a murder scene, and somehow every time you put side B in by mistake. But apparently Luke's father is actually Greedo. Huh. And to top it all off, some DVDs didn't even fade out between sides. They just cut it mid-scene and told you to flip it. Flip it good. Time for a second story time with Jay.
Story time with Nerdy Boy J.
In the UK, there was this consumer complaint program called Watchdog, hosted by none other than future Weakest Link icon Anne Robinson. I was really young at the time, still had Lego in my mouth young, but this one memory stuck with me. A guy had brought Michael Bay's Armageddon on DVD, and was absolutely fuming because he had to flip the disc over halfway through the film. Sadly, I haven't been able to track down video footage of this exact moment, but I did confirm it happened thanks to a page dated all the way back to 99, which means I was 7 years old when that aired. And honestly, I think that's when my love for physical media really did begin. Stuff like that, it's important. It's a relic of a bygone era, before streaming swallowed everything. So to the person watching this video in the year 3000, this is what we were working with.
Primitive tech. Flip powered. Touch sensitive.
Yeah.
Now for the record, I do actually have one flipper disc DVD in my collection. It's the 1993 version of The Three Musketeers released by Disney, and these feature my boys Charlie Sheen, Oliver Platt, Kiefer Sutherland, Chris O'Donnell, and my personal goat, Mr. Tim Curry.
Space!
Even the insert inside the case has a chapter index showing you that, yes, this is a film on both sides. As far as I know, there was never a non-flipper version of this released. Or maybe there was. So after you got halfway through the film, it would you'd be greeted by this little animation of a disc turning, signalling that it's time to flip it good. And according to that glorious 99 webpage from Watchdog, well, it wasn't from Watchdog, but you know, the message was clear. No more flippers. From that point forward, all discs would be dual layered. And that, my friends, was the end of the flipper DVD.
Flipper, flipper, faster than lightning.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Now flip yourself over. To the next section. Don't know where this is going to be put in, but I just wanted to show off the very first DVD I ever bought, because the way we look at our collections, we all remember our first purchase of each format, so DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. I just want to quickly show off my first DVD that I actually ever got, and it is Osmosis Jones. Now, I absolutely loved this film when I was a kid. It's not the best film, but it was the very first one that I had on DVD, the one that I also paid for it out of my own money as well, and it was great, because the only way I ever got it was recorded off TV, because in the UK we have like Sky Movies, but I didn't have Sky Movies, we never got that, but One of my family members did, and I asked them to tape it for me, and they did, and I will forever love them for that. But eventually I got it on DVD, and yeah, the rest is history. So the flipper disc died out, and in its place, a glorious new era was born. The DVD menu. Well, sometimes. Because depending on the disc, some DVDs would just automatically play the movie right away like a VHS. You'd blink and suddenly you're into the film harder than Neo entering the Matrix.
I know Kung Fu.
No animations, no menu, just
Action-packed movie!
You had to press menu manually if you actually wanted to see it. It was like a secret bonus level just to watch the play button appear. But when you did get to the menu, bruh, that's when the magic truly happened. In the early 2000s, studios weren't just giving us a play button. They were giving us animated intros, hidden Easter eggs, interactive transitions, and enough ambient sound to haunt your dreams forever. Menus weren't just menus, they were experiences. You didn't just click play, you embarked on a journey, usually narrated by Don LaFontaine.
In a world where both of our cars were totally underwater.
Sometimes the menus matched the tone of the film perfectly. Sometimes they felt like they were made by someone who had never seen the film. But either way, they were creative, they were memorable, and they deserved to be remembered. In the golden age of DVDs, menus weren't just functional, they were fun and they were cinematic foreplay. These things set a mood. You didn't press play, you earned it. Pop in a disc and you're in a mini adventure. A cursed pirate ship swaying at sea, a haunted house creaking in the wind, or just a play button dramatically fading in with a thunderclap and choir. They were extra, and they knew it, and some menus straight up turned into puzzles. Want to see that special feature? Good luck. First, decode the ancient glyphs hidden in the scene selection abyss. Then click on a spinning skull while facing magnetic north. Boom! Bonus blooper reel unlocked.
It's more than you bargained for.
Studios got weirdly creative here. Click that eyeball in the corner. In commentary. Scroll past the last option. Surprise game. Wait 90 seconds without doing anything. Boom! Secret menu transitions in, unprompted. It was like a treasure hunt, but the treasure was a 3-minute making of documentary on CGI by a guy in cargo shorts. And I loved it. Some menus had music loops that refused to die. You'd doze off on the couch and wake up at 3 AM to Vin Diesel growling
Ride or die.
for the 14th time. You were stuck, the remote was gone, the menu had become your life now. But for all their chaos and charm, menus had personality. Streaming menus, not so much. Now it's just play, trailer, more info. No music, no drama, no flaming play button slowly rotating out of the galaxy vortex. And yeah, I get it, streaming is easy. But DVDs made even pressing play feel like an event. Menus were just part of the ritual. The build-up, the vibe, they gave physical media something streaming could never replicate. And now, for absolutely no reason at all, let's count down the top 5 craziest DVD menus of all time. Because some of these menus didn't just set the mood, they set the building on fire. Number 5. Saw. This menu is a horror film on its own. Chains rattle, and you just wanted to see the blooper reel. Press scene selection and pray you return alive. Number 4. Spaceballs. This thing is hilariously self-aware, just like the film. The menu talks back to you. It makes fun of itself. It's meta, it's loud, it's dumb, and it's an absolute masterpiece. Number 3. X-Men. This one gives you a choice. Join the X-Men or join Magneto. 2 epic people, I can't pick. And depending on what you pick, you get a totally different menu experience. Animations, sound, lighting. It's not a menu, it's a moral test. Number 2, Fight Club. Yep, the disc pretends to be another film entirely. You think you're about to watch Drew Barrymore kiss some high schoolers. And then BAM! Brad Pitt punches through the system. A bold move, gaslighting your audience before the movie even starts. Tyler Durden approves. And number 1, Shrek. Chaos. Pure chaos. Donkey yells, the button moves. Sometimes there's a burp. Why? Because it's Shrek. This menu isn't interactive, it's combative. So yeah, DVD menus weren't just functional, they were fever dreams. Bring these weird little gems back, streaming services. We demand it. Let's make pressing play an event again. Unless you're in Event Horizon. So after all that, you'd think DVD and Blu-ray menus would have evolved, gotten slicker, fancier, maybe even cooler. But no, mod menus are trash. There's no animation, no music, no personality. Bruh. It's just a static screen with 3 sad little buttons, like a PowerPoint slide that gave up halfway through loading. And don't even get me started on the fake out special features. Oh wow, what do we have here? A theatrical trailer, a language menu. See, I don't even care. And the director saying, "Thanks for watching," filmed on his iPhone 4. Remember when DVDs had full documentaries, commentary tracks, alternate endings, Easter eggs you had to unlock by clicking a pigeon in the background? Now we're lucky if the disc even boots to a menu instead of just auto-playing the movie with a 15-second unskippable anti-piracy ad. What happened to vibes, to flair, to mood-setting music that looped so hard you didn't care that the movie hadn't started yet? Now I'm just pressing play on a menu that looks like it came free with a cereal box. It's a sad decline. We went from "Welcome to Middle Earth" to "Here's your movie, leave me alone." Modern discs just don't care anymore. So here's to the DVD menus of old. They were weird, they were loud, they were confusing, they were glitchy, but they had heart. And that's more than I can say for this generic Helvetica Ask Button menu I just paid $14.99 for. Bring back the chaos, bring back the Easter eggs, bring back the Shrek fart button. And so, here we are. Standing at the end of a beautifully scratched, menu looping road. A road paved with flipper discs, THX jump scares,
The audience is now deaf.
cursed animations, and bonus features hidden behind dancing hamsters. For some of us, DVDs weren't just how we watched movies. They were how we loved movies. We explored them, we clicked everything. We found hidden commentary tracks from the boom mic operator. We watched the trailers for every other film the studio had put out that year. And yeah, sometimes we had to flip the film halfway through, but we didn't mind, because it meant we were owning something. Not streaming, not renting, owning. A little disc, in a little box, and a whole world of extras. Why do I keep holding this? Shit. So to everyone out there who grew up in the DVD age, to every flipper disc we flipped, every cursed menu we survived, and every banger loop we vibed to, this one's for you. If this brought back even one DVD memory, go ahead and give it a like. Tell me your favourite DVD menu, your weirdest bonus feature, or the movie you wore out on repeat. This channel's all about loving movies like it's 2003 again, and you're always welcome here. I've been Nerdy Boy J, and I still rewind DVDs before returning them to the shelf. Have a good one.